Hello YouTube. On August 20th, in the year 2025, the BOM satellite number 2, the Space Zoo, as the new BOM spacecraft is called, was launched from Baikonur spaceport. The crew aboard that satellite were mice, flies, and ants. What's the point sending animals into space if people have been flying into space for a long time? Well, the Institute of Biomedical Problems of the Russian Academy of Sciences shared details with the Russian media about this unique project. First, the biological satellite, so to say, would fly in a polar orbit, as will the future Russian space station, which will be built when the ISS is decommissioned and flooded. That would be around the year 2030. This orbit has been poorly studied. There is a different geomagnetic and radiation regime than on the usual ISS route. Therefore, BOM number 2 would fly precisely in the polar orbit with an inclination of 97-98 degrees versus the usual 50 to 60 degrees. Secondly, an unusual experiment is planned during the descent. Scientists suspect that meteorites brought life to our planet. But would even the smallest living creatures inside the meteor survive as it flies through the Earth's atmosphere? So we'll find out. Some of the microscopic passengers of BOM number 2 were placed outside, simulating the flight of a meteorite. When landing, the meteorite would be blown by red-hot winds, and good luck to the tiny creatures. If they survive, maybe the account or hypothesis about the extraterrestrial origin of life is not a fiction. There are many more experiments in the flight program. The peculiarities of the object's work in microgravity and radiation are being studied on mice. Stem cells are used to test how they behave in zero gravity. The results may help in the creation of new drugs. Seeds of plants included in the red book, like Shrensk tulip, thin-leaved peony, bract poppy, Rhodiola rosy, and ordinary tomatoes, wheat, to give them unique properties that cannot be obtained on Earth, and then possibly to create new varieties. Some of the seeds would fly outside the biosatellite in open containers, that is, in the harshest conditions of outer space, with a temperature contrast from minus 150 to plus 125 degrees. And yes, there are seeds of apple trees too. Otherwise, what would bloom on Mars, the media is asking, as well as cedar and acacia. Medicinal plants, calendula and echinacea, may change their chemical composition and accordingly their beneficial properties. The lunar soil is not real, however, but synthesized at the Vernadsky Institute of Geochemistry and Analytical Chemistry. The samples will be in outer space, and experiments in radiobiology and materials science will be conducted with them. So the moon race, as you know, has begun. Who will be the first to build a station on the moon? And you need to build from something. A bioreactor for waste recycling is not a romantic task, but it is important. Now, some history. The decision to create a line of biological satellites was made in the USSR in the year 1970. And the first launch took place in 1973. Despite the fact that humans have been confidently exploring space for more than a decade, it was still necessary to understand in detail how outer space affects life. This became extremely relevant since the USSR was developing plans for the construction of orbital houses, stations where cosmonauts stayed for months and years. And this is a reality, of course, now. From 1973 to 1996, 11 specialized biological apparatuses were launched into orbit, and they were named Bion or Cosmos. The maximum flight duration was 22.5 days. Bion M number 1 flew in 2013. There have been no such launches since then. This is what I wanted to let you know today, and I will continue bringing you stories about interesting features and aspects of the Russian space program. And of course, we'll look into China to the extent possible from open sources. And if you like my research, please support in the links you'll find in the description to this video. Please like my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.